Hello, I'm Naureen, the founder of Inspiring Women in Hospitality. I started this as a podcast 5 years ago with the desire to share stories for women around the world, across our industry, and to create a platform for our voices to be heard. And then 3 years ago, I embarked on a journey that I could never have imagined. I decided to dedicate myself to the mission of gender balance. And I'll be honest, I had no idea how I was going to do this. So what did I do first? I went out to find out what was needed, where are we today, and who was going to be part of this journey. I started with organizing what I call Inspire roundtables in every city that I traveled to, a group of 8 to 10 women getting together to share their experiences of their careers. This became a research ground for me to understand the current landscape of the female experience in the workplace. And what I learned was that this was often the first time women were coming together for any kind of structured conversation about their careers, a safe space to have a conversation and walk away knowing that you're not the only one. But how do we continue to help each other in our career journey and continue the conversations that started at these roundtables and to build a global and strong community of women supporting women? From there, the Inspire community was born, an online global network connecting women from all around the world, where we get together on a monthly basis to be inspired, connect, network, and learn from each other. Year one was still a bit of an experiment. Something like this had never been done before, so I'm grateful for the women who believed in me, put their trust in me, and helped me to shape the community. Year two, we got more structured. We introduced workbooks, member spotlights. We focused on topics around visibility and leadership. The member spotlights, which we do quarterly, allows us to shine the light of members in the group. We also introduced the advisory board of the community to then help shape the content, which has also shaped the changes that we're going to be bringing up for version 3 of this community. But before I go into more details about that, I also wanted to share what I've been doing outside of the community. I've kept up with the in-person events and I've graduated up, I would say, from roundtables to what I call inspired networking events. So these are much larger groups of up to 30, even up to 50. So that means I had to change the format. But what was important to me was that I did not lose the intimacy and the engagement that we had at the roundtables. So at all my events, I want to ensure that everyone engages in the discussion. Everyone gets a chance for their voice to be heard in the room. So I introduced what I call now my signature conversation circles, where we then, after a panel discussion, form into groups of, say, 5 or 6, and we allow everyone to get engaged in that topic that was just discussed at the panel. And what are the topics? The topics that we choose are related to professional development and specifically around issues that impact women in the workplace. So we have done everything from redefining success. What does it mean to be authentic in the workplace? How do you impact your visibility to, how to do your networking, how to build your network, how to build strong connections. Often we talk about making the first move at a networking event is a hard thing. But actually what's harder is keeping that connection going afterwards. So we have the panel that helps to inspire us, but then we get into the circles to share with each other our own experiences. Now, at all my events, I bring together a very eclectic mix of people from diverse backgrounds, experiences, and roles. We end up having not only a multi-generational exchange, but also a multidisciplinary dialogue. And as we enter the year 3 of my gender balance mission of year 3 of this journey, based on the overwhelming feedback I have received from my various advisory boards, because I'm also getting better at asking for help, I will be ramping up my in-person offerings, both within the community and standalone events. And the reason being is there is an element of online fatigue that I'm experiencing and getting feedback from, but also the reason why we want to have that in-person exchange is once we're in person, once we're together, we can really put everything away. We can put the phones away, we can put the laptops away, and really be focused and have that attention for each other and to really lean into that experience that we're having in that moment, whether it's for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, or soon to be full day events, which I will be talking about in a moment here. So what's coming up for year 3 of Inspiring Women in Hospitality? Let's start with Inspire Community. So here we will still remain and have that element of online exchange. But we'll be changing up some of the formatting and the content within that to link it up with some of the in-person meetings that we're going to have, but still have that space where we can get together and support our members. Within the community, we are introducing what I call Inspire 6. So this is some of the in-person element that we will be introducing for version 3 of the Inspire community. So this is where a member from the community will host a table of 6 ladies in their city. Still supported by me virtually, because obviously I cannot be in every city in the world. But with the support of the member, we will create that opportunity to meet in person and to connect. So whatever we start in that online environment, we can then carry on into that in-person connection as well. Outside of the community, I'll be introducing my first one-day events in different cities around the world. Different advisory boards have been set up in each city that are helping me to shape the content. Because what I'm realizing is every city is at a different stage of not only their, hospitality, market, life cycle, and culture, but also different stages of their gender balance journey. And as I've always said, not one size fits all. So we are going to adapt both format and content in different cities. So please do keep an eye out for what's going to be coming up. These events will be open to both members and non-members. Members, of course, getting that preferential, the priority access, preferential rates for ticketed events, and have the opportunity to continue the conversation within the community, within the membership, and to have that additional level of accountability and celebration of wins and successes, and continuing that conversation where really we're supporting one another in our career journey. So for the first one-day event, it's coming up in London on the 7th of November with some, really influential women that I have admired for years within the industry, who will be there facilitating us throughout the day. So if you can imagine wanting to be in a room with one of these women for a full day and have their undivided attention, this is what it's all about. And how can you become a woman of influence like them? So if this is what you want to be a part of, you need to be there. Currently in the works, we're talking planning for Zurich and Sydney, and definitely more to come, not only this year, but definitely more in 2026. So how can you get involved and connect with other like-minded women in the industry? First of all, the membership for Inspire Community is now open. So this includes access to the online network, the monthly connections, connecting with women all around the world, opportunity to work on your own visibility, learn from your peers, and access to many more in-person meetups throughout the year. And in terms of some of the events in person, what's coming up that's accessible to everyone. First is Inspire Roundtable in Hong Kong in September. And there's something in the works for Singapore that I can't share more about just yet. But if you follow me, you will be hearing about it soon enough. And of course, I've already mentioned about the upcoming event in London in November. So I will include in the captions or in the links and wherever I'm posting this, where you can find all the information. But I would say the best way is to sign up to my weekly newsletter, where you can find out, be the first to know when I'm launching different initiatives and that you can be a part of. Now, to all the men who are watching this, I have not forgotten you. You are on my list. You're an important part of this journey, and there will be more opportunities for you to join the conversation as well. So I will be reaching out. We all need to be part of the discussion if we're going to make an impact on gender balance. This is not about women versus men or even women versus women, because sadly I still hear some of those kind of stories, but it is about all of us being part of the solution together. Let us lift each other up.